So I recently just watched Avatar: The Last Airbender for the first time, and I really enjoyed the show. So I thought, why don't I give Legend of Korra a chance? But I was pretty skeptical in the beginning because I saw all the hate Legend of Korra gets online. But after watching it, I was blown away. This show is amazing. I wouldn't say it's the same level as Avatar: The Last Airbender, but it's just a tier below it. So that's why I got to wondering, why does Legend of Korra get so much hate? But before I get into the video and tell you why I think Legend of Korra gets so much hate, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and make sure you guys watch till the end. So there's only 3 reasons I could come up with why people hate Legend of Korra. And the first reason being because Korra is just a stubborn and hard-headed person, so that just makes her unlikable. Number 2 being because Avatar: The Last Airbender is just a perfect series. And number 3 being because of what happened in the finale of Legend of Korra. Now, if you watch The Legend of Korra, you know what I mean by when I say Korra is just a hard-headed, stubborn person. She just doesn't listen to the advice that people give her. She just goes on her own, decides to do her own thing, and ends up just messing everything up. This was the one and only issue I feel like I had with the entire show. It's just how stubborn and how arrogant Korra was, and she just wouldn't listen to anybody else. So I could see why people would dislike Korra for that, but I don't see the reason why they would hate the show. Now, I can understand if someone says they don't like Korra because of that reasons, but I don't understand them saying they don't like the entire show just because she's acting stubborn and arrogant. Yes, that is a big issue with the show, but if you just bypass that and see that throughout the season she actually does learn and adapt compared to her first season, compared to how she was in the last season, you will see that she actually improved. And yes, she is the polar opposite from Aang. Her and Aang are completely 2 different people. Aang was more of a helpful, carefree, he would listen to the advice people gave him. Korra was more of an arrogant, stubborn person. She wanted to do everything by herself, but there's a reason why she was like that. Korra has been getting pressured since she was young. She has been getting trained, be like, oh, you're supposed to be like this, you're supposed to be doing that. She's been getting controlled since she was young. So when the time comes that she can be free and do whatever she wants, of course she's not going to listen to what people tell her. She's going to go out and do her own things because she's not controlled no more. And before people come and argue with me saying, well, Aang had more pressure on him. He was just a 12-year-old kid and he had to go save the entire nations. But my counter argument to that being, when Aang first found out that he had to become the Avatar when he was 12, what did he do? He did the same thing Korra did. He was stubborn and arrogant. He ran away from his village and froze himself in a bubble. And when he came out that bubble, what did he do? He was still trying to ignore the problem that he had to save the world. He was just ignoring everything that he did wrong. It wasn't until he met up with Avatar Roku and Avatar Roku gave him guidance that he decided, you know what, it's time for me to actually step up and do my duty as an Avatar, the same way Korra did. And if people just actually watch Legend of Korra instead of just seeing these clips online and formulating opinion based on what other people think, they will see that Korra and Aang had the same progression. In the beginning, Korra was arrogant and stubborn. She wasn't listening to anybody, but as the seasons progressed, you could see that she started advancing and started fitting in her role as the actual Avatar. It started actually doing Avatar duties. In the beginning, she was just ignoring everything. The same thing Aang did. So this whole argument of Korra is stubborn and arrogant, that's why I hate the show, it's just completely dumb to me. And the second reason why I believe people hate this show is because Avatar was just a perfect series. Avatar was hands down one of the greatest cartoons ever made, so people felt like it did not need a sequel or did not need a continuation. Well, if you actually read the Avatar books and watched the Avatar show, you would know that Avatar's passed down, so of course it would only make sense for them to make an Avatar show with the next Avatar coming up. People just hate on this show because of Korra. They don't like how she acts. She acts the polar opposite from Aang. Aang was more of a lovable character. You could fall in love with him easily. Korra, it takes more time to fall in love with her. You won't fall in love with her right away. So people are just shitting on her because she's the complete opposite of Aang. There's no reason why people should just shit on this show because 2 characters are different. They're 2 different people. Like, don't get me wrong. Overall, Avatar was a better show compared to Korra. Avatar had better characters. It just had a better story overall. But that should not be the reason why people should hate on Korra, because Korra was a solid show itself. It was actually good and it actually had a decent story. Yes, some of the characters were annoying. They weren't as good as Avatar, and some of the villains weren't that good. Season 2 villain, but that does not mean that should be the reason why you shit on the show and belittle it. Give it a chance, actually sit down and watch the show, clear your mind, get all the negative hate away, get all the Avatars a perfect series. People are just coming into this show hate watching. They come into this show getting ready to hate. They're not coming in with an open mind, and that's what we need to start doing more. And to be honest, this is the reason why I believe we haven't gotten a new Avatar project in a while. And yes, I know they're coming out with new Avatar projects in the later years, but the reason we haven't gotten an Avatar project like in this like 10-year gap so far is because people have just been shitting on Korra, and basically the studios are just listening to what people are saying. They're thinking, oh, people don't like Legend of Korra, they only like Avatar: The Last Airbender. We should probably stop, and we should probably halt all of our ideas and rework everything we're working on because the fans are just shitting on it. And that should not be the case, because Korra is a good show, and I will die on this hill that Korra is a good show. That people should just stop shitting on it, come in with an open mind, and watch the show, and you will enjoy it. Nowadays, people just love to complain about everything. They love to critique and nitpick everything, and that's the reason why many shows fail. And now I'm gonna get into the third and final reason why I believe people don't like The Legend of Korra. But before I get into this reasoning, I'm gonna give a spoiler warning. I am gonna be spoiling the ending of Legend of Korra, so if you haven't watched Legend of Korra, leave this video and come back when you have. Now, I'm gonna be talking about two endings here. I'm gonna be talking about the season 2 ending and the season 4 ending. So in the season 2 ending, Korra loses her connection to the past avatars, and this is a huge problem in the Avatar community. Everyone hates her for this. They shit on her constantly because of this. And in my opinion, it's a fair criticism. That was a dumb thing that should have happened. That should have not happened in the show. Because the whole main reason Aang became Aang is because of his connection to the past avatars. Or because of what they did to him. Because of what Avatar Roku did to him. Because of what Avatar Kyoshi told him. So when Korra just lost that connection, she has no one to give her advice. Of course she's going to be reckless and do dumb stuff. So that was a dumb idea they should have done now. Because when the next Avatar does come out and we actually see what he does, his only connection will be Korra, which is not good because Korra doesn't know that much. Now, when I watched this, I didn't really see an issue with it until I finished the show and I started getting to thinking. Now, if they decide to make a new project or a new movie or a new show about the next avatars, we're not going to see Aang no more. We're not going to see Roku no more. We're not going to see Kyoshi no more. We're only going to see Korra. And that is a big problem because what can Korra really teach these next avatars? She hasn't experienced what the past avatars have experienced. They all experience different things that shape the new avatar. That's why you have past avatars. So her severing that connection, the new avatars are going to be real reckless and they're not going to know how to really save the world because they're not going to have the advice from the past avatars. Like the only reason Aang was able to stop Sozin was because of the advice from Avatar Roku and Avatar Kyoshi. So if the past avatars don't have the advice from any of those other avatars now, when they face a problem, they're not going to know how to stop it because if Korra doesn't know how to stop that problem when they try to talk to her, how else are they going to stop it? They're going to have to learn by themselves. So this is a big problem they did, and I agree with everyone else. They should have not done this. This was one of the biggest issues I had with the show once I finished it, because now when I got to thinking, this is a real dumb thing that they should have not done. Like, I feel like when they made this decision, they didn't have no plans on continuing the Avatar series. They believed that Legend of Korra would be the end of the Avatar series and they would not continue after that. And if that was the truth, that was okay, that's fine. But now that it's confirmed that they're continuing and they're making new series, they're making movies about the next avatars coming up, that was a dumb decision they did, and hopefully they maybe write it out in the next series because it's gonna really ruin everything that's coming up in the next series. And now I'm gonna be talking about the season 4 ending, which is the most controversial ending in the entire Legend of Korra series, and that's the reason why some people hate the show, is because Korra came out as gay in the end of season 4. And in my opinion, that's not really a big issue because that did not affect the show or anything else they had going on in the entire show. As we can see, they were just hinting at it the entire time, but they never really showed it to us. So that doesn't really bother me, and it wasn't a huge issue to me. So I don't know why people complain about that. The dumbest issue, in my opinion, to complain about, oh, Korra came out as gay. So what? It happened at the end of the show, the last episode, the last 5 minutes. So we wouldn't even really see it in the future. If you really want to watch Korra, you could watch it without seeing that. You could literally skip that ending if you don't want to see it. So that's a dumb reason why you should hate the show. And people are just trying to like hate on it because they're saying, oh, they're going woke. This is a kid show. Just skip it, bro. If you don't want your kid to see it, skip over that part. They don't have to really watch it. This is not a huge issue. People just make issues out of nothing. So those are the 3 reasons why I believe people hate The Legend of Korra. And after going over those 3 reasons, the only reason I could agree with is the season 2 ending where Korra got rid of the connection with the past avatars. That's the only dumb thing I feel like this show made. That's the only mistake I feel like they made, because that was a real dumb decision. If they're continuing this Avatar series, they should have not done that. They should have just erased that or got rid of that and just never done that the entire time. But that's the only valid reason, in my opinion, why people should hate The Legend of Korra. But that should not be the reason why people shit on the entire show, because that is a dumb reason. Yes, that has a small mistake, but entire show is still good. If we look at Avatar, it does have some mistakes, but people don't shit on the entire show because of those some mistakes. So people should just ignore that little mistake. If you just erase it out of your mind and actually sit down and watch the show, you will enjoy The Legend of Korra, and you will actually see how good it is. I wouldn't say it's on par with Avatar, but it is a real good show. But if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and comment down below what your favorite series is, Avatar or Korra. But other than that, it's midnight and I'm out. Peace out.